Hey guys, Jason here with Rising New Moon Studios, and today I wanted to show you how to do a basic, neutral, I'm wearing makeup but I'm not really wearing makeup look that you can use for just about any cosplay you want and that kind of thing. But we're just going for like a nude, neutral look that's just going to look great in photos and everything. So if you're doing photo shoots or if you're doing, just walking around the halls and posing for pictures, this is going to be a great makeup to give you a nice even skin, nice pretty pictures so you don't look like red sweaty mess in all your pictures, because that's never good. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm back and I've already done the makeup on half of my face because I wanted you to see the difference in the two. Notice how, well, I hope you can notice in the camera, that this side is just really even and smooth. This eye looks a little bit bigger and brighter than this one does, and because I didn't really do much, I just did a lot of emphasis on the eye. I did a little bit of contouring around my face. Oh, I also have one of my circle lenses in, which I always do. I do the circle lenses, which are basically, if you can see, there's my regular contact with just, no color, and the circle lenses are bigger and make your iris look bigger. The color is nice and concentrated and pretty. And it's just another little something you can add to your makeups to make them a little more, to give your eye a little more emphasis. Anything that you can do, like I said before, anything you can do to emphasize your eye and make it look bigger is a good idea. But, okay, so this is the after. Nice and pretty and smooth. And here's the before, kind of plain, a little splotchy. So let me show you how I accomplished this. Okay, so the first thing I did is I went ahead and put in my other circle lenses, so now my eyes are matchy. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to use, I'm using the Avon Smooth Minerals. They're basically just a mineral powder foundation. When I'm doing just a normal look, this is actually the makeup I use when I cosplay as Maze Hughes, except I use a different color contact. But I just use the mineral foundations just because I like them better. If I'm doing a lot of like blending and contouring, then I'll use like a cream foundation. But for this, I just use the mineral powders. Let me take that on. I'm just gonna got my blush, my big fluffy brush, and just put a little powder on it like that. Just kind of swirl it on. If you've seen the infomercials, you know how to do this. And it's basically the same as the Bare Essentials, but it's through Avon, it's their person. Make sure it's nice and blended. And also down on your neck, you want to get your neck too. Alright, so that's my foundation, and as you can see, it goes on really quick. You can use a cream, you can use a liquid, it's totally up to you, but I just use this. The next thing I'm going to do is one of my optional steps. I'm going to take my concealer, and I'm just going to hit up anything that I think might be a problem later in the day. So anything, anywhere where I get red or that kind of thing. One thing I do is kind of around my upper lip, and anywhere because anywhere that I'm going to get 5 o'clock shadow, I put a little bit of concealer on there just to help keep it covered. Just wherever you need it. One thing you can do is you can do under your eye like this. And you're just going to go under your eye and kind of down your nose, under your eye where that circle is, and kind of just blend it out. Blend that a little better. And this is going to take away any kind of circles or anything, any red puffiness you have under your eyes. That'll do it. And just remember, because we want to have nice, perfect porcelain skin, even old anime characters still have perfect skin, so we want to make sure we do the best we can. Then take my fluffy brush again, just kind of go over that and blend it in. If you're using a cream foundation, you would just blend your makeup normally. with your fingers or with a sponge. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my highlight foundation and I'm just going to put a little emphasis right there on kind of down the temple and down the side of the face. And this is just going to bring a little more width to my face. I have a very long, narrow face. So just to give it a little more presence, I highlight here. If you have a very wide face and you want to narrow it, you would shadow right here, down the temples. So to put that on, just blend it in. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a eyeshadow brush. I'm going to take that same highlight and go right under here, under the brow bone. You want to get like right here with a nice concentration of color. And then I'm also going to take a little bit of that shadow, or a little bit of that highlight, I'm going to go right here on the tear duct. And again, that's just going to bring your eye out a little bit more. And that brush and kind of blend it in a little bit. Alright? So see how already that's opened up the eye a lot? It like kind of, the highlight under your brow kind of gives you a little bit of a brow lift. And this just kind of opens up your eye. If you're female, what you can do, instead of doing a highlight here, you can use like a eyeshadow, like a light eyeshadow, either like a white or pale blue or something like that, and really open up your eye. One thing I didn't do, because I have a very heavy brow line, but if you don't have a crease like I do, or you don't have a very present brow, what you can do is you can take your eyeshadow brush, take a little bit of shadow. I'll go ahead and do it, but we'll see how funky this makes me look. And you're just going to go right here in the crease. And that's just going to give you a little more definition. If you don't have a crease, you can draw one on with your shadow. The last thing we're going to do around our eyes is I'm just going to take my eyeliner and I'm just going to go from the outer corner in about 3/4 of the way, like just under where just under to where the pupil hits your lower lid, and you just want to blend that in just like a little bit. And that's just going to bring out your eyes. Ladies, you can use whatever color eyeliner you want to. It's totally up to you. So that's it for our eyes, except now I'm going to take my black pencil, because when I cosplay as Hughes, he has black hair, and usually my hair is black or dark brown. And take my black pencil, and I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows a little bit. You can use that eyebrow pencil to change, to manipulate the color of your eyebrows. If you need them darker, or if you need them blue or something like that, you can use an eyebrow pencil. You can also use a shadow, an eyeshadow, an eyebrow shadow, anything really that you want to use. So there's my eyebrows. I'd also take my black pencil and I fill in my beard wherever it doesn't grow in very well. Obviously, if you don't have a beard, you would skip this step. But I'm just using short little strokes like that, because you don't want to like fill it in solid, because hair doesn't grow in solid. So even when you're filling in your eyebrows, you use short little strokes like this. Like that. Now I'm just going to take my fluffy brush and I'm going to take my setting powder, which looks a lot like my highlight, so I always get them confused. I'm just going to go over all my makeup with that. Alright. Last thing I'm going to do is my blush, which I'm just going to take the same brush. The great thing about these powders is you just can use the same brush. I just use a little paper towel and kind of buff off the extra, just like that, all the excess. Take a little bit of blush. You don't want to go too heavy. And for guys, you're just going to go kind of like right here, under the cheekbone right there. A little bit of color, you don't need a lot. If you're doing like a younger character or whatever, you can probably go more on the circles of your cheeks, like that. Ladies, you probably want to do more right around here on the tops of your cheeks with something a little more pink. All right. And I always put my powder foundation, my powder blush on after I put on my powder. That way, if I put on too much, you can just take a little more powder and go over that and like knock it down a little bit so it's not so bright. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lip color, and this is Rose Suede and it's by Neutrogena. I'm just going to put that on. I'm skipping lip liner here. I don't usually do lip liner on just this look. If I was doing more, like if I changed the shape of my lips or something like that, I probably would do lip liner. Like I said, lip liner is an optional step. And if you put too much, like I might have, you can just take a paper towel and blot it. Like that. That way you get more of a stain. And that's it. There's our makeup. It's super fast, it's super easy. Once you get the hang of it, like this makeup takes me maybe 5 minutes to do. Yep, it's a nice, great makeup. It's gonna look great in pictures and everything like that. If I pull my hair down a little bit where it's not so crazy. There. Nice natural looking makeup. I don't look overly made up. You can't, unless you're really looking, you can't tell I'm wearing makeup. Maybe my lips are a little bright. But other than that, you know, it's a nice natural makeup. It's gonna look great in pictures. It's the powder's gonna absorb all that flash so you don't have any shine or anything like that. So there you go. Ladies, you can do this exactly like I just did. And if you're going to do a crossplay and a guy, you want to probably do something like this. If you're doing a young boy, like I said, a little more rosy on the cheeks, you can probably stay a little more pinker in the lips, just because kids are, you know, young and pale and porcelain skinned and rosy cheeked and all that good stuff.